All right, guys, welcome in, man. I'm a little toned down a little bit, JB. It's like I'm in Hawaii. Coach JB along with me here on Unpaved on a Monday during our NFL. I'm in Hawaii. I don't want to brag, but
I lost my invite in the mail. I guess I got a new address.
Dude, you know what? No, UPS has got a problem. They didn't deliver it.
Your invite didn't show up? I got. God dang it! I've missed out.
How dare them? How dare them? Well, I'm sitting outside, as you can see the background. To my left is beach and pool. I'm trying not to yell at what I saw yesterday, JB. And I know my face is a little shady, but it's like, 7 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. So I can't ask the sun to come up. And people are having over there, I get so excited in our pre-show, JB, the waitress had to come over and say, hey, could you just tone it down a little? So really? I'm not going to whisper, but I'm not going to because there's people sitting there. And I think 6 in the morning. Yeah, they don't 7 in the morning. They don't want to have me dropping F-bombs. I don't think they want to have me dropping F-bombs about shitty play in the NFL, which we're going to get to, JB. It's great to have you on. I don't even know. I'm glad we got a week to do this, but I'm going to fire a question to you because we'll come out and respond when you get to your next appearance. But I can tell you this, JB, I don't remember a time. And I know we get one of these weekends every year in the NFL, maybe more than that. But there's a lot of crappy, ugly, horrible football being played. I can go down the list just real quick. The Chiefs any good, JB?
No.
Giants any good?
No.
Cowboys any good? Your guy, Caleb Williams, put on some nail polish and threw a party on the Cowboys.
He took it off. That's why he won. He took it off.
Cardinals, there you go. Broncos, Chargers. Chargers are probably the Rams and Chargers may be the two best teams. Around the time. I know the Ravens and Buffalo Bills are in the category too, but you go through Saints are obviously as bad as it gets. Browns beat the Packers. I can go on. The Colts look like world beaters.
Panthers blank the Falcons 30-0.
And how about the fact that the Colts finally punted and we're in week 3? I didn't think they'd get a first down by week 3, and here we are. I'm joking, but it's been. And again, I'm sorry about the light, but just listen to the voice. Don't worry about the moneymaker. I know that it gets everybody a little horny and stuff, but just settle down, JB. All right, let me start here. Tell me first off the one thing and it's hard to pick one. When you're watching yesterday with your bar behind you and you're going, and I don't want the Coach JB show on my show, okay? I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. A little teaser for your great show. I'm joking.
Really, look at that beautiful palm trees, California palm trees.
Yeah, no, Hawaii, but good try. Oh, you talking about behind you? Yeah, no, that's
I'll see my backdrop right there.
That's called booze, brother. And we needed a bunch after yesterday's game. So tell me, if you picked one thing and said you were either embarrassed watching or can't believe, what was it?
The fact that all right, here's one. The 49ers are pretty average with Brock Purdy. They can plug and play any quarterback and be the same exact way they were with Brock Purdy. Why'd you pay him $60 million?
You're telling me 800,000 gets you just as much as a 60 million can?
Yeah, Mac Jones kind of proven that, isn't he? Just like Sam Darnold, just like Jimmy G, just like we've seen these other guys. Am I missing something? Jimmy G went to a Super Bowl with 49ers and lost, the same as Brock Purdy did, correct?
Yep.
The same as, this is a franchise that drafted Trey Lance. I'm just telling you, plug and play, let Shanahan go to work. You don't need to overpay these under-deliverers. It's just really, it is what it is. Mac Jones has had better start to the season than Brock Purdy has so far in his career this year. 3-0. He's thrown for 250-plus every year, multiple touchdowns. Yesterday, they have a field goal shootout game against Arizona, but other than that, he still was top 5 in the NFL in passing yards yesterday. So, I'm just saying, what are we talking about here? I can go down the list. Let's be honest. Carson Wentz, remember that guy?
Yeah.
I think he
JB,
won.
JB, you know what I'm going to tell you right now? And I've tried to, I know you and I both at the quarterback, how hard we've studied it, and we both do, and we've opinionated on it, and Segs is too. And we'll Segs will join in about 15, 20 minutes. JB, I'm sitting here watching, and I'm being honest now. This isn't hyperbole. It's not hyperbolic. And I've tried to, and you and I pre-show were talking about, hey, when Russ Wilson was in Seattle, and a top 5 guy, and he was having a Hall of Fame career, and he may still be in the Hall of Fame, Super Bowl champion, and he's a good player. He's not anymore. He's a backup in the league, regardless of his 500. The 500 last week tells me just how average the league is at all over the place. There's great individuals, and there's Buffalo and Baltimore. There's some really good teams. But JB, I'm going to just tell you, at that position, you're never going to tell me that this era is better than previous era. You're not. The Manning and Brady area, the Marino, Elway, Montana, Favre, Steve Young back in my time, all those great players then, Warren Moon. I'm going to tell you right now, from technique to mechanics to all the throwing, that college quarterback play is putrid. If you're telling me Carson Beck's the second pick of the draft or a top 5 pick, then I ain't drafting anybody. Okay. So you look at it. I'm just telling you now, and this isn't disrespectful, it's fact. This is a different era we're talking about. I don't want to hear, well, man, look at how many yards they put up. Listen, Joe Sixpack, Harry Hatchet, and these nuts can throw for 400.
I'm so fucking tired. I've been saying it for 5 years.
Quarterback play is subpar all over the world, man.
Yeah, it's been that way. I've been saying it for 5 years. Everybody called me a fucking hater and all this old shit. I've been telling everybody this is the bad. We're failing them as coaches. We're failing them in this country because they're better athletes than when we ever played. They have more access to stuff, JB. Study tape. They got more nutrition, all of it. Right? I mean, the gods touched them. Let me tell you, they're unbelievable, freakish nature of athletes. But the bottom line is, we are doing them a horrific disservice. A high school level, let them transfer 4 years and four schools and 4 years in high school, and then we do it in college, and then the NFL we allow them to demand a trade. And then we draft a guy to play, and then we overpay him, and he's an under-deliverer when we can plug in Mac Jones for $800,000 and still get the same result. You saw it with Cooper Rush in Dallas. Guess what? He won more games than Dak Prescott won last year, and he was making what, $700,000? Like, come on, man. We got to start. Let's build a program around a guy and just pay him an adequate amount of money, and just get
and give him pay other good players so you can have a good roster.
Yeah. How about keep Michael Parsons maybe in Dallas? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Their defense is pretty shitty. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on, Sean. But high school and college, we're dismantling the position. And I don't believe a bad quarterback position equals a good product on the field. We all know that that's absolutely the reason why college and NFL have become hard to watch for me. I know, Sean, over the last few years, it's harder for you. And you got to cover for your morning show every day. And I get it. I watch it for my show, but damn, it's hard to watch, man. Just fundamentals, just basic shit. Like, I'm just saying, this is a bad watch, and I don't know if it's getting better anytime soon. I think it's getting only worse. So
yes, you know what's interesting, JB? In watching it, I try to, and it's because if you're in our position, that's played it and coached it, and now broadcast it. People can get caught up in, you're just an era hater, or you don't like the young, boomer, that you don't care about the young. That's not the truth. I've actually given them probably more time and respect and confidence in my mind for them than they probably have earned. Because I watched them play, JB, and you're right, the high school. I can tell you this in training them, and I know you coached them. We don't train them, dude. We train them to play off schedule and make spectacular plays. We don't train them to play within and do the things on time with accuracy and just be a quarterback, not an athlete. I can find athletes anywhere in the NFL, but I can't find a lot of guys who just do it right all the time unless everything's perfect or off schedule. So you're right. We're not coaching it right. The mental side, JB, guys can't even pick up a simple 4-week. They'll point to a guy and then won't look, and they'll get hit in the back and wonder why somebody didn't block him. Well, that was on you, you dumbass. And it bothers me because I'm watching. I try and try and try. I start to CJ Stroud, dude, forgot how to play. He forgot how to play. I mean, I can go up and down. Patrick Mahomes it's almost like when Kelsey fell off, he's just an average. He's just a guy. Even Chris Collinsworth kind of admitted he's not the go-to guy anymore. Dude, I'm telling you right now, Patrick Mahomes at this time of his career, and Mahomes is a talent. I love him. Don't misunderstand me. But Brady's mechanics and the focus, this is when Brady was playing at his best 7 to 8 years in. And health for 20 years, for 15 years after that. That offense has taken – they don't elevate. They don't elevate sevens and make them tens is my point.
No.
And I watched Elway do it, Marino. And listen, Mahomes is one of the all-time greats. But I think people got to start to temper it. And I love him a lot more than you do, JB. I know how you felt about him. But just mechanically, I look around the Stroud and Mahomes and look at Daniel Jones. They had him left for dead. And you loved him and said he goes to a proper place, he can be a player. He had that 1 year. I'm starting to realize that Daniel Jones is the year he got that contract, JB, he's closer to that guy than he is to the guy that Giants fans thought he was a hack in national media. So we have skill sets for athletes, but they don't know how to play the quarterback position very well. I'm just sorry they don't.
Nah. And you know what, Sean?
Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the world, followed by Lamar Jackson. But I'm talking about with their performances. Josh Allen's the best player in the league, dude, at any position. I'm just telling you he is.
And I think Danny Jones is playing he just did something we've never seen before, ever. 3 touchdowns rushing and passing with no interceptions through 3 games in a row. I don't think we've never seen it. So, I mean, here's the thing. Why I've always been a Daniel Jones guy. First of all, I knew his Cutcliffe, a great friend of mine, is a coach who I knew.
Great teacher, too. He's a teacher, JB.
And he told me from the jump, like, hey, man, this guy's legit. I already knew. So I knew right away. And then I saw him when he had adequate talent around him. Then he goes to Minnesota, wins a playoff game, by the way. Nobody wants to talk about. So I'm just trying to figure out, Sean, do you know that he has a running back this year named Jonathan Taylor? Yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty good.
$165 last week. Yeah.
Remember he had a guy in New York named Saquon Barkley? I think running back matters, don't it, when you're that good? Because
ask Jalen Hurts how that turned out last year. Having Jalen Hurts and Barkley together.
Now you're on my point. Now Jalen's benefiting, isn't he? So it's crazy how that dynamic works now in the NFL. Burrow gets rid of Mixon. He goes to the Texans. They sign 2 wideouts. He gets hurt because they don't do anything up front. And now we're out without a quarterback, but we overpaid 2 pretty guys on the outside. And now guess what? Cincinnati got mudstomped by Carson Wentz. I'm just telling you, you can't make it up. Before we started the show, you said, what a weird day of football. I'm just telling you, this is what the football has become.
JB, do you think, well, we're going back to Cincinnati real quick. And guys, folks, we got to hop around because all those games yesterday, the Pack, there was a lot of trash played. I'm not talking about trashy players, but it was a dumpster. It just was. Cincinnati has zero substance outside of their perimeter. They're so cosmetic. JB, they can't get off the field. They can't defend anybody. They can't protect a quarterback. I guess we should give Burrow even more credit for being as good as he was when he was healthy, correct? I mean, when I watch that team, I'm going up and down this list, dude. I can't fathom. I mean, the Rams are a really good team. They had a chance. They do, and they gave that away. But the Rams and the Eagles, we'll see them again, I think, later sometime in the postseason, JB. But you go up and down this thing, and I find far more that isn't fun to talk about than the stuff that is. There's not a lot of, now I know some team won. Well, why aren't you talking about Seattle? Okay, but I'm just talking about the quality of play. Everywhere except a handful of places in this league is at times unwatchable. And there was games yesterday that were literally Atlanta was unwatchable. Hell, the Packers offense yesterday was unwatchable. You go up and down. The Cowboys are pathetic. I can go up and down a bunch of them, and it's like, this is an embarrassment. And the Houston Texans, JB, I know you and I before the season thought this is a boat race division, right? They're going to curb stomp the division because a rookie quarterback in Tennessee. Yet we didn't know what Daniel Jones was going to be like. I know how you loved him, but we didn't know what the Colts were going to look like. Listen, Trevor Lawrence, you can say all you want. He went 24. He's just a guy. Trevor Lawrence is no first pick of the draft superstar. He's just a guy. It's because they don't have a guy behind him that can replace him. If they had a dog behind him, Trevor Lawrence may not be starting anymore. Yet they beat a Texans team that I'm telling you what, JB, watching Nick Caley call plays, it's a bloody embarrassment the way they're playing. So go up and down the league. I don't know. Do you have a team that you think's the best team in the league? I think you like the Rams still. Do you think they're the best team in the NFC, even though Philadelphia beat them?
Yeah, I think the Rams still the best team. They dominated that team that I haven't seen Philly dominated like that in a long time. Like you said, weird day of events. 2 field goals blocked like that. There's got to be a way. Eric Weddle came on the show, former Rams Super Bowl champ, and we broke it down. The center snapped the ball both times, Sean, and fucking let the guy go and blocked nobody. He just sit there. And the guy went straight up the shitter. Like, I've never seen nothing like it. Like, literally moved out of the way. Like, he was paid off. I've never seen anything like it. No kick was going to get off. It doesn't matter where you were at. So, I've never seen anything like it. Jalen Carter takes it to the house, Sean, obviously. But they dominated. 26 yards first half. The Rams allowed on D. And then the second half, guess what? Jalen Hurts got going. I thought the Rams did some things disguising 1 high to 2 high in the first half. They didn't do in the second half. And guess what? all big shots to Jaylen Brown over the top, and then that's what it is. He got him involved finally.
You mean not Jaylen Brown? Who'd you say?
Brown.
You're talking about
AJ.
AJ Brown. Yeah.
So AJ Brown gets going, and has a big day. Nakua's the best wideout in football. Period. Point blank.
Well, I don't
listen. Player in football.
I don't argue that at all. He is phenomenal, man. Every game he shows up.
Everything, Sean. I mean, anything
you
around
can't cover him.
Yeah, you can't
cover him.
And then in your hometown, or not where you are, but in Dallas, in the state of Texas, you got two teams in Houston and Dallas. Dallas has a guy who gets hurt, CeeDee Lamb, who drops everything when it matters. George Pickens on the sideline, bitching and moaning like he did in Pittsburgh. That's not. I blame Dallas. You knew what this guy was going in. He's a shitbird. He's a cancer. You brought him in, and Dallas looks like the team we thought they were. A bad organization and a delusional owner. I love Jerry Jones to death, but damn, Jerry, you came out really and said you're a playoff team still after Caleb Williams beat you that bad? Sean, this is a bad organization, bad team right now. They have no secondary. Diggs is worse than his brother who's knocking up Cardi B. Like, this is a bad situation.
Hey, don't get on anybody for delivering some pound cake.
What happened?
He's delivering pound cake. Okay, isn't she pregnant?
She is pregnant. She's shaking the ass though with her titties out, pregnant. But it's cool.
I can't say that out loud here. I'm sitting in Hawaii near a restaurant, and if I yell it out loud,
nice big areolas. She had big areolas, and she got they're going to do a gender reveal soon, I guess. But hey, I'd be proud to knock it up, right? Show the ass, to everybody. Oh yeah, don't say nothing. An old white just walked behind you. Hey, you're in the blue hair area.
No, I'm in Kona.
A lot of blue hair.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. Yeah.
A lot of blue
hair. Good thing it's not on speaker. You know how sometimes you're like at college game day and the speakers are going everywhere? Yeah, thank goodness we're not doing that.
Hey, you showing you got big money.
I mean, you know what? Listen. I mean, I'm no Tua or, get paid, or Brock get paid 55 or 60.
You're underpaid over-deliverer. They're overpaid under-deliverers.
JB, let me get you 100%, brother. Let's talk about, I know we don't want to talk much about the Giants. First off, if Jackson Dart doesn't start next game, they're out of their mind. Okay. I don't care about Russ Wilson's 450. If you got any clue, you can throw for 400 in this league.
Against Dallas.
I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking about the last drive for the Giants. It kind of sums up everything you're talking about. They go down and get it in the red zone. He makes a bender throw down into the red zone. Russ Wilson does. Dude, they're inside the 10, right? What's it, 10 or 12, whatever it was? And 3 straight plays went 45 yards out of the back of the end zone. On 4th down, he threw it away like he didn't want to take a sack. Don't you got to just lob it up? Don't you got to give somebody a chance to make a play so you can stay in the game and have a chance to win? Come on, man. The football IQ in this league at times is baffling. And I'm talking about coaches too. I mean, and then it's inexplicable how when I watch a team that a week ago, did we not have Green Bay as like, this is a really, really good team. And then I watched that game yesterday and then went back and saw highlights. They're going to be good. But I mean, I know you're going to have your days, but offensive football in particular is really, really tough to watch, JB. Even with these 40-point games, well, there's some defenses that don't stop anybody. The Saints probably should be playing on Saturdays, not Sundays. They should.
There's a lot of those.
Saturdays, dude.
Sean, we got to keep it honest and talk about it all. 301 yards per game is the average for the 32 teams playing. It's the worst in 50 years. So I'm just telling you, that's a fact. It's a 300-yard average per offense in the NFL is the lowest it's ever been in 50 years. So I'm just telling you, that is a tell sign right there how bad quarterback play is. Because with good quarterback play, you would never have that. Because the quarterback alone would throw for 300 yards. We're not even averaging 300 yards total offense a game amongst 32 team average, Sean. You can't tell me that quarterback play is good. Don't even ever bring it up again. I don't want to hear anyone out there say it. Because if quarterback play was any good at all, then guess what? You'd average more than 300 yards a game. So, Sean, Russell Wilson throws for 450, and then he plays a well-coached NFL. I mean, one of the legendary defensive coordinators of all time is Spagnuolo and Kansas City team, but they're not as good as last year. They're not the same Kansas City team. And 120 yards passing. Sean, even Matthew Stafford, if he could redo that game, if he played like he did in the playoffs in the snow a year ago and throws for 350, and they should have beat the Eagles last year in the playoff, he threw for, basically barely 200 and missed 2 big-time throws that Stafford makes in his sleep. The Rams blow that game open. Yeah, the Rams blow that game open. It's not even a close game. So we had a lot of things we haven't seen by big-time quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, a couple of the OGs. But the rest of the league, the young guys, Sean, it's so bad. And the number one reason people don't grasp it on a macro level, if you can't control the line of scrimmage with your snap count, with checking the ball from the line
freedom to be able to throw to check to
how about we don't just run the play, Sean? How about we don't run the play that's given because we got a light box and we check to a run? Guess what that does? That helps out the offense and extends plays. We're just throwing it, Sean. Whatever it's called, we can't audible out of shit. We don't know how to snap count. We don't know how to control the line of scrimmage. Have you noticed that it's a jailbreak every single day and time and every team on offensive line play? Because the D-line is pinning their ears back and just bull rushing these old linemen because the quarterback won't slow down the D-line with their voice command and their snap count. These guys know. Set! Fucking snap. We're the gun.
JB, they're so afraid, too, that to go on different snap counts. Why? Because they don't know if the quarterback or the line can handle it. They'll jump and it will give up 5 yards, but they'll take the ass whooping the line's giving them. Here's another thing I don't get. Do we even do, and I know some will say, but I sit there and come to the line of scrimmage for even young quarterbacks. JB, tell me you weren't audibleizing at your senior year in high school.
Oh,
I know I was. And
but
I know
in college, thing, right? You're talking about getting under center and Aaron Rodgers. If you look at Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, guess what? They're not getting bull rush. You know why? Because they're getting to the line. Green 19, under center. So we don't know when it's snapped. In the gun, no shit, Sean. I swear to God, I watched the game and I got an inside source, but I also watched the game. Every time Caleb Williams says turbo, the ball snapped immediately afterwards. It's a 100% snap count.
Well, that's his indicator that the next time my voice, after I say turbo, after you hit the O, the ball comes.
99999 turbo, and the ball snapped. And you don't think D linemen in the NFL fucking know when to come? Like,
hey, JB, I'll tell you this. When I was playing in Minnesota, you remember the great John Tierlink, the defensive line coach who coached Dolman and all our guys. Randall was awesome, and he coached Dwight Freeney in Indy. We'd walk by their room. And think about this room. There was Millard and Keith Millard, who was one-time Defensive Player of the Year, John Randall, Chris Dolman, Henry Thomas. I mean, we were – well, if you could block those guys, good luck, and very few could. They were in there studying voice inflection with the audio. Every week, they'd study voice. Now, we'd jump off sides about 3 times a game, but guess what? Denny Green didn't care because we'd go get 7 sacks and we'd get a strip sack, fumble, turnover, and flip the field, and we'd go score. I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm thinking, what happened to JB? I don't even know. Are we giving check with me's or run to pass to run? Do we even do that anymore?
Sean,
I know the answer. Yeah, right.
It's a picture on the sideline of you in a G-string and me with a cigar.
Right. And Reese Davis with a headset on for College Game Day and Herb Street. You know what I'm saying? Or Scott Van Puffs. We see it all my buddies. And you're like, okay, I get it. But are we giving quarterbacks, and we're not even teaching them? JB, these high school quarterbacks I train, hey, tell me what the Mike linebacker does on cover 2. They don't know. And I'm saying, wait, well, I coach, they don't teach us coverage.
Sean,
and so
they don't even know what a 3 technique is.
Right. And they don't know when I say, hey, middle of the field open. Well, what does that mean? Well, kind of how now some do, but it's after a lot of talk and chatter. And they say, well, my coach doesn't really, he tells us we're really to throw it. I said, well, what happens if that guy falls down? Or wouldn't you think you'd have a little extra advantage, even if you're going to throw it where your coach tells you, that you know how to get there sooner because of the coverage is dictating, telling you how to throw it? What if they do something completely different you haven't seen? Well, I mean, I just, this thing about the control freaks, this micro stuff, not letting the players go. Then we get to college. And I want you to think about this for a second. Going into this year, you know who the top quarterbacks in the country that were going to be the top picks were? Arch Manning. You can't take him first right now. Because I love the Manning family. Carson Beck. Who am I leaving? Oh, Lenora Sellers has been up and down, banged up.
He's AR5 all over again.
Right. Okay. Who else we got? Who I'm leaving somebody out that was.
Yeah, you got the kid. You got the best quarterback in the country that I've seen so far has been the kid at Cal.
And who else might? But anyway,
you got FC's kid Malava. You got the kid Rosloff at Tulane, who was at BYU.
But there was somebody else that was Retzlaff. You're talking about
Retzlaff. You got
there's somebody else that it was
Lagway struggling. You got the kid.
There you go.
Klubnik.
DJ Lagway, another one. Klubnik. That's the one.
Klubnik's been horrific. Dude,
I couldn't draft him right now in the first 3 rounds with the way he's playing.
I'm not drafting none of them.
So my point is, all the Klubnik, Sellers, Arch Manning. You start to go down the list. These Carson Beck.
Nico. What happened to Nico?
Can't play a lick now. So my point is, and these are the next guys that are going to go lead your NFL franchise, dude.
I've been saying it for 5 years. It's only getting worse. And now look at it. Now you're at the end because the blood life's been gone. All you've been doing is recycling transfer portal kids. You have no blood life coming from high school or junior college anymore. So now, guess what? They limited the portal for a reason because they're running out of blood life and they need to go back into high school and develop again. And now you're going to see coaches come out the woodwork. And I wouldn't be shocked if you see an Urban Meyer go to UCLA or back to Florida. Because if you can only transfer one time, guess what? It's kind of like it used to be. Now I can control your ass a little bit more and hold something over your ass and teach you at the same time. It ain't about a control factor. It's about teaching you, developing you, and not letting you just run when the times get tough. That's what we've allowed in the last 6-7 years. And you're seeing why it's deteriorating the game because the quarterback position is the most essential aspect of the game. If it's shitty, the game's shitty. Period. So,
JB, let me ask you something. When you watch football on Sundays, and I know you got a lot to, I'll keep you for a couple more minutes. When you watch football on Sundays, I know you and I have talked about this for a long time. When you wake up, you know that excitement level you feel on Sundays because you're going to watch good football. Do you feel it anymore?
No.
Are you prepared for a crappy day of football? What tell me your feelings when you wake up to watch it.
You used to wake up with a heart on, right?
Yeah, bricked up.
Yeah, I haven't woke up with a heart on in years. But yeah, now that's probably regular. That's because of other shit too. Nothing to do with football, but yeah, I used to wake up with a heart on. Now, no, Sean, it's horrible. Like I'm not excited whatsoever. And then you got now there's the scheduling so screwed up. You're telling me the Rams-Eagle game shouldn't have been the Sunday night game of the week? Like, what are we doing schedule-wise? Have you noticed all the streaming and you got to have 20 apps now and spend $1,000 a year to watch football where it used to just be on your local channel? Now it's becoming, that's another part of this that's pushing away fans. I'm just telling you right now, without the corporate sponsors, I don't know if you're going to have the same excitement here in a few years. Not if the product's like this. Not if quarterback plays this bad.
Well, they're going to, and you're right. It doesn't matter how good everybody else is. If quarterback plays trash, the rest of the game looks awful. And with this, what happens is now you're asking people to pay more and get less quality. That's like going into a restaurant saying, you know what, I used to get I spent $50 for a steak and it was awesome. Now I'm spending $75 for a steak and it's shitty.
Hey, ask Las Vegas, Nevada. How's Vegas doing?
Done. Las Vegas, Nevada's become a
how about that? It's a ghost town. It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Kansas. Like it's bad.
Isaiah, you're right. Now, Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love's a good player. And they do give, because he comes from the Sean McVay under center. Yeah, he is, but he of course they had to with him, JB.
I know that's what
he still gives him a chance, and he still checks. But
when are we going to say timeout to the have to shit? I'm confused because I get the market. We always the market, coach. The market. Fuck the market. At the end of the day, you're for my team, right? You have your individual team.
100%.
I'm trying to figure out why is the marketplace dictating all this shit every day? Because I'm just telling you, we're overpaying all these dudes. I'm gonna be honest. There's not a guy out there I'd pay right now this money.
Think about this, just kind of applying it to college. I'm with you. The player and parent, we got to pay him for the optics. Listen, the Tennessee Volunteers are better, and they let the guy go walk. They just find that's we need more of the NFL. Yes, see you later. Your guy come over here who was going to be the backup. He's our guy. So we're getting too much of that, and then it leads to horrible, horrible football. And next Monday, Isaiah, great call. Isaiah plays. We got a doubleheader. We got Miami versus the Jets. Could there be a more? The only thing is, if the Saints were playing,
why would we do the doubleheader shit? What's a doubleheader?
Bengals, Broncos, because we want to spend more, and the NFL thinks that more crappy football is better than one.
Hey, everybody on the East Coast, raise your hand. How's that 10 p.m. kickoff for you guys?
Yeah, Yeah.
I mean, are we kidding ourselves here?
Can you imagine trying to sell to somebody, hey, man, buy this app because you get to watch the Dolphins
at 10 at night?
Yeah, and you get to watch the Dolphins play the Jets. Now, what a thriller that's going to be.
And the Bengals.
I can tell you right now, you watching that full game next week, JB? You're going to watch the beginning and throw up in your mouth and then watch something else.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, if there was a way to look at the ratings and the bit rate and all that shit, the algorithm, I would bet that this is got to be the most turned on and turned off era of NFL football. Like, they got to go right on to The Sopranos or whatever the fuck's on. They're not watching full games no more. I got 12 games on at a time, Sean, just like you do. I got 15 TVs. I'm luxury to have all these games on, and it's like, my God.
Then you're thinking about, I guess got to turn back to the Ryder Cup. Like next week, JB, I'm telling you now.
Major League Baseball, end of the season. We got the Ryder Cup. We got Micah going back to the Dallas. I get that. You got the Ravens, Chiefs, but you got college football you would hope would be great. You got Ohio State traveling to Washington. You got Bama, Georgia, and you got Penn State hosting the whiteout versus Oregon.
Yes, JB, I'm far more Saturday than Sunday, right? I mean, I'll watch them all because we do. Yeah. But if you're telling me when you're bricked up on Saturday, Saturdays are far easier to get pumped up about.
Yeah.
Sundays are almost a have to. Saturdays I get to. There's a difference. I get to on Saturday. You have to on Sunday. So that'd be a good one. But you're right. You tell me next week at 1:00 in the afternoon. Are you watching the Ryder Cup or are you watching some horse's ass game on? I'm watching the Ryder Cup. Now, with all the TVs, I'm going to keep on, but I'm paying attention to every shot. There's going to be more enthusiasm for the Ryder Cup than there is the Jets in Miami on Monday night.
I watched Kershaw's last start. Over this shit.
Oh, and I did. And then I go back and watch the highlight. And congratulations to Clayton Kershaw, not only on a send-off, the way that Dave Roberts did it, but also to a phenomenal career for one of the great left-handers.
Now, do you sit them in the rotation in the playoffs, though?
No,
that's the manager's hard job now.
You know what you do, JB? He's probably a swing guy, meaning you may have to use him in the bullpen as all hands on deck, right? Or you start. I think out of respect,
their bullpen's been a deliberate.
That's what injury. I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's been aside from injuries, and they've struggled. They've gone through their hitting slump, but with the Dodgers, it's one of those things that Kershaw will give you whatever you're not. But the thing about it, he's such a bulldog that it almost makes you want to run him out there because you think that he'll just fight his way through it, especially since he's done when this season's over, So
it's crazy. We just started this show. The baseball season had just started, and we were like, oh, this might break the record, an all-time great team. And they've just been riddled with injury and fought through it. Still in first place, but listen.
Not the same team. Yeah.
Not the same team. And at the same time, though, they still have enough talent to get it done and go on a hot streak and win it all. But at the same time, they can lose first round, too. So it's one of those years.
JB, let me end you with this real quick. I like to antagonize you too because I like to get you going. That's my guy. If I told you Caleb Williams is going to be a player in the league, what are you going to tell? If somebody comes up and says JB Caleb will be a player, regardless, I'm talking about just the X's and O's. That his talent alone is going to get him to another level, and it'll be worth it. That he's going to prove that he was the first pick of the draft, unlike maybe Trevor Lawrence. What do you say? That's why I asked, because I knew what the response would be. I just want everybody else to hear it.
Have you been to the Angel Reese nail salon with him?
No. I haven't paid attention to anything Angel Reese does, so no.
Well, that's Caleb Williams' nail tech.
Oh, at her salon in Chicago? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Like they have the same nail tech.
Are they serving me champagne there and talking WNBA? I'm in because that really gets me going.
Nail tech, like the same, the same one that does her goes and does him right after. Yeah.
Oh, so they're sharing nail tech people. Oh, because
yesterday, Sean, I broke the news. I broke this news for your audience. He went clear
coat,
and then he threw for 298.
Sometimes you got to go clear coat, or you got to go just shine and buff. You know what I'm saying?
He might have went shine and buff, but he went clear coat. I said if he has no nail polish, pick the Cowboys or pick the Bears to win. And
he played good. And
look what happened.
Ball didn't hit the ground much, and he threw for about 300. There you go.
They call me JB Damas. Call me JB Damas.
There you go.
But no, I'm gonna laugh at you every time when you say Caleb Williams. No, he's not. And I get it. It hurts your heart. It hurts.
What's it? No, you know what? Because he's a Trojan. No, listen, JB. I know the flaws he has, but we won't even give him credit when he plays good. You can't even say he played good yesterday because you blame it on the nails. You can't even say the guy played good. You got at least.
Were you about to ask me what I call him?
Yeah. What'd you call him again? What's his name?
Caleb Williams.
All right. It's great to see you, buddy. I hope you have a great. I hope you have a great. I hope you have a gay day, meaning a happy day, JB. I really do.
Gay is happy.
His name? Yeah. What's his name again? What do you call him?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb. Yeah, spell it for me. Could you spell that for me?
Yeah, it's Gayleb.
Get out of here. Cut him off. He's an idiot. Let me bring in somebody with some sanity. But by the time I'm done with Segs and he's done listening to JB and me, he will not have it. Well, Segs been dealing with me with a long time. You're on mute, Segs. You're on mute. Segs has been dealing with me a long time. He's already insane because of me, and now I just have that clown JB on here. He spelled it out for me, JB. I mean, Segs.
Yeah, he spelled it.
Your guy played good yesterday, though, Segs. He did a good job yesterday, really.
I mean, I don't know. You know, when you kind of look at it, it's how much was it Ben Johnson kind of opening up his offense, because we saw some of the trick plays. We saw the flea flicker. We saw a few end arounds. We saw different plays that Ben Johnson was not calling in week 1 and 2. So how much of it was that? How much was the Cowboys defense being awful? But in the end of the day, all you can do each week is play the team that's in front of you, right? And if this is the game that springs Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and that Bears offense forward, I don't care who they beat, you know. You can beat anybody. So,
judging from that real quick, though, when you say, well, you got to play the games and you know who they beat, but look at the league. Going into this, the Texans were supposed to be good. They're not good. The Colts were supposed to be average. They're good. They punted for the first time in 3 weeks. And then you look at teams like Green Bay, who I think is still going to be good. But you go around the league, Segs, when you say, well, I mean, right now, just on the surface, if I say Kansas City and Baltimore playing, aren't you picking Baltimore by 10 points? I mean, I'll bet you the biggest spread difference that the Chiefs have faced since Mahomes has been their starting quarterback. I'll bet you that they've never. I don't know what it is, Stegs. I haven't even looked at it because I've been busy with my son getting married and fat catting in Hawaii. I'll bet you that they haven't been this big underdog. And if it's less than a touchdown, then the gambling people are out of their mind, because they are not going to be able to move the football. I don't think. I think they're out. So you talk about Caleb Williams. You hit it.
Did you almost call him Caleb?
Yeah, I almost called him what JB did. I swear to you. I almost called him that. The quarterback in Chicago, JB, is it? Yeah. I mean, now I'm calling you JB and Sager. You got me all wompy, John. The truth is that you don't know week to week who's any good in the league. There's a handful. I know Buffalo shows up. I know Baltimore shows up. I know that the Rams are going to compete. I know Green Bay's usually going to be in, but outside of Philadelphia. But the truth is, once you get past like 8 teams, the rest, the other 24 teams, I don't know what I'm getting week to week. And then some, I know what I'm getting on the bad side, that they're just ass. And the Texans fall into the category. The Texans look like the Saints. Nobody in my town of Houston, don't come here telling me, well, we're better than them. Your defense is. Your offense isn't better than theirs. As a matter of fact, I'll take the Saints offense the way the Texans are playing. And they've taken so many steps back. It's a tough watch, man. It just is.
Yeah, it's just when you look around the league, and you guys were talking about it, and it was fascinating to listen to you guys talk about the quarterback position and how, JB talked about the offensive output is the worst it's been in 50 years when it comes to, we're not even averaging 300 yards per game on offense across the league.
That's not just passing yards. We're talking about full yards of a full
total
team.
yards. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
And I wrote this down because when you guys were talking about it, I was thinking about it. And you got to think, this is with supposedly the best athletes in the world, at their top, compared to 20 years ago. The athletes are so much better, bigger, stronger, faster. And the NFL has set this game up for the offense to win 7, 8 out of 10 times. And the offenses are still struggling. And it's fascinating to see. And then hear you guys talk about how the quarterback play is down. And
so you can see that, can't you? I mean,
you can.
Your son's playing it, and you and I have talked about it. We've gone deeper into not just fan talk. You and I have deep dived in because we've actually, in our time, we talked quarterback play. And there's times we say, here's why this guy's good. But you watch it, Segs. Even you with your naked eye as a fan, but having a son that's starting to play position, can't you see the fall off? You can, right?
And the most interesting thing you guys talked about was the fact that the coaching is just dumbing everything down, telling them where to throw the ball. And my son's only 10, so I get it's a little different at that age. You are setting up plays, but it's still, there's no teaching of defenses. There's no teaching of, okay, like I tell them all the time, walk up at your age, find the safety. If there's no safety in the middle of the field and you've called a pass play that has a post in it, that post is most likely going to be open. And it's just teaching them to find different defenders where I don't know. And I would have to ask them again. I know I've gotten the answer no before in the past, but they've never told him to look at the defense when he walks up.
Yeah, he's looking at an area and throwing it because they tell him where to throw it. Right.
Yes. And
they're doing that not just at 10 Segs, they're doing that in college now.
Right. Yeah. And that's where it's crazy to watch. And my little nephew is the starting quarterback for the varsity team at our high school here, and it's the same thing. And he's got a crazy amount of talent, but it feels like it's just one or two routes, and if that's not open, it's take off, use your athleticism. And that's why I think the game is getting worse and worse and worse, because we see these kids come in. I mean, like Bryce Underwood, he ran almost 22 miles an hour on his touchdown run against Nebraska on Saturday.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
He can throw the ball 70 miles an hour, and he's got touch and everything. But again, how much does he know the game of football? When you guys talk about the X's and O's, what's a two deep, what's, cover one, what's coverage.
How to attack, right, middle of the field closed, middle of the field open. Segs with that. And when you look at a guy like that, they should be so focused on not just I know what kind of athlete he is. Now get him to the point where the football IQ, how to read a defense and how to attack a defense matches the physical skill. And then he'll thrive even more. It's like, Segs, you give me the answers to the test. I'm regardless. Who was it? A week and a half or 2 weeks ago, maybe it was last week in a game, when the broadcaster said, "Listen, man, you're going to let a guy sit back like that." Oh, it was Aikman. It was Aikman on the Sunday night last week, and he was talking about, listen, you give a guy that kind of time, they're going to destroy you. Quarterbacks are going to kill you, and even average ones. Average quarterbacks destroy you when you give them 4 seconds, and they're not getting hit. Defenses continue to change and attack. Offenses get to the point where I'll rely on this guy to tell me where to throw. We're not reading coverage and evolving at the position. It reminds me, Segs, when you were in high school or in college and you go take a test of a subject you absolutely hated. Mm-hmm. What'd you take the test for? You took it to get out of the class. And the second you walked out the doors, you don't remember one thing about what you learned. Right. You studied to get through the class, not to soak it in. We're doing that with quarterbacks. Hey, we're going into this game. I don't want to give you the answers to the test. No, I'm going to give you the answers per play. But then remember this now, the defensive coordinators are smart too. The guy standing on the sideline calling plays doesn't know it all. Go look at the result in the NFL for offensive weekly. So those geniuses that are calling plays, they're struggling with it too. But we've gone to this point where it's like, no, we're going to take all that off the quarterback, and we're just going to direct him so he can just play. And then in the turn, guess what happens? You can't just play because you're you're already going in now at a disadvantage. Now, if I got answers to the test, say, if I can walk up to the line of scrimmage and he tells me, okay, if you don't like this, go to this. It doesn't have to be go to this 700 plays. Like this, go to this. And to teach coverage and defense and how to attack a defense, the rest is easy. It is. What's going to get in the way of all this? It's not physical skills. Now, mechanics have waned because people don't teach them anymore. Right. But what's going to be the great eliminator, and it is 90% of the time from the people I'm around, the great eliminator is they get mentally behind. And these things are going fast. It's tough enough to play the position when you know the answers. But you got to study to where it sits in your soul and festers in your soul to where I want my quarterbacks to be able to call a game if their offensive coordinator had the flu and couldn't make it to the game. Right. And that's how I want them to think. So, man, the answers to the test are in coverage. And then there you go. There's the answers to. I'm giving them to you if we'll understand. But we've taken it out. It's inexcusable for a college sophomore or a high school senior that's the starting quarterback that doesn't understand what throw away from rotation or what middle of the field open or closed means. Or if the middle of the field's closed, it's automatic. You already know the middle of the field closed. You've got outside the corners are on their own island, even if it's zone. So you're going to get, you can make plays. The middle field's open. They can roll the corners. But if you don't know the basic concept of this, and I'm convinced that half the quarterbacks in football don't know at the college and high school level, don't understand basic concepts of football. And we're going the wrong way when it comes to teaching. We just are.
Well, and that leads me to ask you about how much is it that now we are putting, going back to your era, the early 2000s, it wasn't the best. I don't want to say it this way, but it wasn't these crazy athletes playing the quarterback position. You had Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Steve Young. Steve Young was a little different. He could move really well, but
Steve could have played another position. Yes.
It was guys that sat in the pocket and used their arm to beat you, and their mind. Yes,
right.
They couldn't run away from Richard Dent or Reggie White, any of those guys. They couldn't run away from them, so they had to use their minds, as you just said, to beat you with the offense, with the run game, switching plays, audible, and doing all that stuff. Now these guys are, they're insane. Look at Lamar Jackson. Look at some of these guys. Cam Newton, when he played, it was drop back. I don't see it. I'm gone. And that's what you look at.
They don't get through their whole progressions. Yep.
Every single game you watch. I go to high school games on Fridays. I watch college all day. You watch NFL all day. It's like that. It's 1, 2, gone. Yeah, there's a few quarterbacks that still will go through the full progressions, but it's 1 look, 2 look, I'm running. And that's
and sometimes they don't even get to the younger ones don't even get to the second look six. They rely on the crutch. And you make such a I want to emphasize that's such a great point that you brought up and that you made about what we leaned on then and now. Listen, could Steve Young we saw it run? Of course, Fran Tarkenton, yes. Right. But that wasn't the norm. Michael Vick came into the league and he could do it. There's a lot of guys who are athletic and talented, but what they built their foundation on was football quarterback play, not athleticism. Now, if you get both, well, good. The guy in Buffalo, you got a gold jacket on and you're playing in the Hall of Fame. It's awesome. But what happened is, their crutch is, and they're being taught this, so I'm not even blaming the quarterback. Boom, you don't like it, dude? Go make me a play. I hear it all the time. Oh, just go make a play. Go make me a play. Ben Roethlisberger couldn't move a lick, and yet he moved a lot. He just people. But Ben killed you from the pocket. Well, so one group, the new group, is relied on just like they're taught in high school. You're the best athlete on the field. Drop back. He's not open. Use your legs to go make us a play. We got to win the state championship. And I understand that, but you're also not teaching them to get to the next level. Because I always believe that I'm coaching. I want to coach you for Fridays if I'm coaching high school to be prepared to play Saturday, win Friday, prepared Saturday. And if you take care of Saturdays, Sundays will handle themselves. And back in my day, guys like me, well, there were plenty of athletes, but my crutch was knowing where to throw the football because I wasn't going to beat you with my legs. So instead of 1, 2 go or 1 go, it was 1, 2, 3, throw it out of bounds or go. Because that third guy, the check down, nobody covers it. There's a lot of times that guy's just sitting there, nobody covers it. And I understand why guys use it as check, their legs as check down, but they miss out on other big plays because the first window's closed. The second window, backside dig, may be running right through right through. Like you want to listen to Kurt Warner talk football, dude. And I've been to he and I did this, the one in Florida. That remember I told you about that think tank we go to about 20, and watching him get on the board and talk about what they did with the Rams and Mike Martz. Kurt Warner wasn't beating anybody with his legs. You know how he defeated you? With his mind and timing of the throw with accuracy. So the crutch then for Marino was, I'm going to get it out on time and I'm going to know what the defense is going to do. Even Brady and Manning. Listen, who are Brady and Manning beaten in a superstars competition?
Nobody.
But who are Brady and Manning beaten as a quarterback? Everybody. Right. So the crutch now is, and I see it when I'm coaching kids, they want to do everything off schedule. And I say, well, wait a second now. I said, we'll get to that. I said, now I want you to make me this, and we'll just do a shallow cross drill in the mesh play. And, you drop back and throw it 10 times. They'll miss 5 of them behind. Hits off a shoulder. And then I say, okay, now I said, you guys want to have a little gentleman's bet, or well, bet next time I'll bring pizza to the workout. They all want to throw deep and off schedule. I'll say, I'll make you a bet. We'll put no defense out there. We're just going to have your 4 receivers. We're just going to run go routes. Drop 3 steps from the gun or 5 in a hitch. A lot of them don't even know how to do 5-step drop in a hitch. Drop 5 in a hitch and throw a go route. And I said, I'll bet you out of the 10 throws, you won't complete 3 of them. Dude, 4 of them land out of bounds. 1's an underthrow, 1's a drop, and 2 are caught. And I say, you guys still want to work on that? Then I'll say, now come. Okay, so when you hit one now, I'll say, then let's work on just a simple curl flat combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, throw the ball flat. Ball's hit the ground. All I said, so how am I going to get to that play that you're 3 out of 10 versus air? And then I come and give you a play that's a 5-yard shallow cross. The guy's in front of your face, and you can't hit him 5 times out of 10. And that guy's starting on Friday night. That guy's going to get a Division I scholarship. That guy's going to play Saturdays. Now, I don't know how much. And then it's either going to go away and he's going to end up getting a college degree and not sniffing Sundays, or he's going to go and they're going to say, oh, he's got a lot of potential. He's a great athlete. See, we're recruiting guys now, every two-way quarterbacks. And if it's Lamar or Josh Allen, well, God bless you. But if it's Carson Beck or if it's somebody who's not who is a once in a while guy. Once in a while I'm great, and once in a while I'm really shitty, right? Yeah. So I use him. I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying. But it's a bummer. Put it this way: on any given Sunday, not to reference the movie, Marino, Elway, Young, Favre, Montana, dude. That's the list of Warren Moon. That's the list of guys I played with, dude. Even Kenny O'Brien and Tony Easons that were both really good. Jim Kelly. That was everything. And you go up and down, and you're saying the ninth guy threw for 330 and completed 19 of 24 or 30 of 34. They ran for 120 yards. That Phil Simms, that was that whole era. And they all beat you with accuracy, timing of the throw, and their crutch was knowing where to throw it on time as opposed to first guy's not open, let me go be an athlete and make a play. So if you're telling me you want to be an athlete and make a play, great. But can I teach you from here so we know what we're attacking, which will make my job as a coordinator better, your growth as a quarterback better? Segs, listen, you can be you're an athlete. Let's say you're the best athlete in the world. I'm a quarterback, and you can beat me with your feet, but you can't beat me every day with your arm. But I can beat you with my arm and mind, but can't beat you with my feet. We play each other 10 times, everything being equal, but the quarterback, who's winning more, me or you? I'm going to beat you simply because 100%. I know where to throw it, right? So it's so baffling. It's so frustrating because there are so many great athletes. The problem is, once again, goes back to your and I's conversation. When I told you about Donovan McNabb. He told me, Sean, I want people to talk about us. And Donovan was a great example of, I'm a quarterback first, dude. I'm not a quarterback who's a black quarterback who's an athlete. I'm a quarterback first. And that's how I want to be, a quarterback, not an athlete. Because if I'm referring to you as athlete first, and Donovan said this, it was an awesome conversation. If you're calling me an athlete first, you're basically slapping me in the face saying I'm not a quarterback. And unfortunately, look how we describe quarterbacks. What's the first thing I say? Oh, man, he's got great feet. We all get guilty of it. When's the last time you said command at the line of scrimmage as a college quarterback, going through it all? You know what? Back at Purdue when Drew Brees was there, Manning at University of Tennessee. Neither one of those guys could beat me and you running backwards. Yet both of them can beat everybody knowing where to throw it. And we've lost that in this league. And quarterback play overall, as far as quality and understanding coverage, is as bad. They're taking hitches on bang posts, which is late. The mechanics of it, a position, are disgusting to watch. They just are.
Well, and that reminds me of something when we talked about a couple years ago. We were doing a show, and I asked you, what's the most important position? And you said you have kids that come to you, and they don't know how to do a 3-step or a 5-step drop. And I asked you, for my son, what's the first thing I should teach him besides throwing the ball? Obviously, teach him a 3 and a 5-step drop. And he can do that in his sleep now after 3 years because we go outside before practice every day and just throw a little bit. And that's
and he
all
doesn't
he's
think
doing.
About it, Sakes. It's just that now he just doesn't. It's out of his mind. You don't even have to think about it walking the line of scrimmage. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So it's just the fact that you watch these kids, you watch college kids. I mean, they get it. Hell, some of them turn the wrong way to back up and go. It's weird to watch from when I was a kid watching Marino and all those guys. Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, to now it's incredible to watch how much the position has changed, and it feels like it's going backwards.
Yeah, think about this for 1 second. And when I get the Telestrator TV, I'll be able to draw it quick without overloading people with man, that's too much X's and O's. But simple X's and O's talk, like you would teach your 10-year-old how just the base of coverage, right?
Yes.
Now, I want you to think about this. So you break a huddle and you teach them, okay, we walk the line of scrimmage. That if I'm teaching him understand, like, okay, against see if you go to a quarterback right now and say, do you know how to tie fronts and coverages? You can't play this front sound if you're playing this coverage. That the fronts and coverages tie into each other because you got to balance it out. You can't have somebody in the flat playing defensive in the flat, but don't have somebody in the hook curl zone. I mean, somehow, so if it's zone coverage, you've got to have somebody balanced out all over. And that ties into fronts, the 3-4, 4-3. Are they an under front or an over front? All that stuff, which I can draw, which would make it much easier for people listening so you could visually see it. My point is, on Sundays in the NFL, JB, Segs, I see it every week. Come to the line of scrimmage. The center, the guard, they're both covered. The tackle's covered. The right guard, there's a bubble there. He may be uncovered. Linebacker sitting there in a 4-3, or center's uncovered. You got a defensive tackle over the guards in one gap, and the defensive ends over the tackles, right, with their head down, with their hand in the dirt, rushing. Mm-hmm. All right, so all of a sudden now, Mike linebacker walks up tough, or they bring a guy in the A gap, a secondary guy, or move somebody in there, and now the center's covered, right? They're there. So now he's got 5 to block 5, and you always want to keep big on big. Okay, so I'm the quarterback, and all of a sudden they do that, and the coverage tells me the safeties are a little more shallow, Segs. They're not their normal depth, which listen, if they're originally lining up at 12 yards and they line up at 8, you better your alert better go off, right? And so it's covered, and all of a sudden they've got 2x2. We're in the gun and spread and all that, and they're in the gun more. Segs, they should not miss this stuff. You know what a coach is telling them now? Hey, if the guy comes off the slot blitz, don't worry about him. Just get rid of the ball quicker or make him miss. Yeah. In my day, if we miss that in practice, Brian Billick, do you realize center guard tackle covered, or we send the Mike, even if the center's not uncovered in like 3rd and 5, 6, we go Mike right, which we tell the line, that guy, you heard Marino do it all the time, Mike 55, Mike 55. Mm-hmm. They're telling the line in the back, that's our guy. We're sliding the line to him. And so you see it all the time. You saw Manning, hey, it's an even front 4. They're in nickel, and they got the nickel and dime over the slots, and you got a Mike linebacker. Hey, Mike's right. Mike is right, or Mike middle, Mike 55. You identify who he is. I'm telling the 5 guys up front and the back who they're supposed to block. And if they bring more than they can block, that's me and my receiver. So I go, Mike 55. Mike is right. So now I got my left tackle blocking the left end, the defensive right end, guard blocking his guy. Center. Now, the center, the right guard, and the right tackle are getting the end, the tackle, and the linebacker. That's their 3. However they work it in zone blocking, the zone scheme, right? So I've sewn up those 5, right? And then you see a quarterback go, Mike right, and then what's he do? He looks to the left slot, or he's got the back, and he points to it, and he'll point, and they'll say, if the back's on his left, he'll go, you got him. Or he'll move the back over to his right, and the back knows that if a guy comes out the slot, that's his guy. And so when you've directed the line, you see how many guys, you see it all the time. Back in the man pointing to the left slot, he's pointing to his receiver. That's our guy. That's our guy. Yep. Or if he kept the back on the left, if 2 guys come, we can only block one. Say, so what do you think the natural reaction is? You'll see a guy do this too. He'll point to 2 guys and say, these are our guys. If both come, the wide receiver's got to run a quick slant, whatever their side adjustment. And so the quarterback takes a snap. The first thing his head should be doing is snapping to the left. I got to see if a guy came.
Right.
My back's on the right, I got to block one guy. If they all of a sudden guy comes and they bring 2 and I pointed to him, I see it all the time. He points to him and then he doesn't look when the ball snapped, comes back over here, gets hit in the back, and everybody's mad at the line. I'm like, dude, you just directed Mike to right. You told the back he has this guy, and then they brought 2 bodies and they can't block him. And that's you. That's why you're pointed to the guy. You're telling your slot receiver, if that guy comes and the inside guy, we got to throw a hot or a side adjustment off him. And then they turn their head, get hit in the back. You know what everybody's doing? Oh God, that offensive line sucks. No, the quarterback sucks because he didn't do it. And we don't even teach him to do it. So, oh man, just be an athlete. Get rid of the ball before he gets it. No, know who to get and how to get him. And if we did that in practice, dude, you wouldn't have been playing. You missed a blitz pickup. You say, well, now that you got an injury to your back, we can't throw you can't play this week because you got hit in the back because you didn't a simple 4-man week. We got 3. Dude, you're 10-year-old. If I say, listen, there's 4 guys there, 4 of them are coming. We only got 3 to block them. What would his natural reaction be? Well, I got to get it to somebody, right? Somebody's not
coming fast.
Thank you. Right. Now think how basic elementary. If you just know that and understand the difference between middle of field closed and middle of field open, that's a place to start. Well, we've got just go be an athlete. Go be an athlete. Guess what? Micah Parsons is better than you as an athlete. You get my point?
Yeah.
So Go be an athlete and tell the dude that's 245 is faster than your running back and stronger than your left tackle. So we've lost all those basic. And Segs, as we go tomorrow, we'll get a full hour to go through all these games because there is so much to cover. Like I said, the Russ Wilson stuff, dude, that's football IQ, and Russ is smart. What are you doing? You can't throw it 3 times out of the end zone without giving a guy a chance to catch it. You just can't do it.
It's insane to watch that sequence.
And watching the Kansas City Chiefs offense, Segs, even though they won, they're a hard watch, man. They are. They're not a playoff team. I'm sorry to tell you, they're just not.
They're not. They're not, especially with the Chargers doing what they're doing.
I don't care with Worthy and all those guys. They're just not explosive. I can take your best receiver out of the game. I see it happen every week. Now, what are you going to do? And Mahomes is at the point right now where that they can't. And Mahomes is a phenomenal player. But you can see, hey, it's a novel concept when you got great players around you, how much easier the position is to play. And when you're good, like Mahomes. But right now, the Kansas City Chiefs offense doesn't scare your son's 10-year-old team.
If you're a Browns fan, you see your team go out and beat the Green Bay Packers, and their defense was the best unit on the field by a mile. The Browns defense, that is. If you're looking at this
every week for that team's sakes, the Browns is by far and one of the best units in the league.
Yeah, I was going to say they may have the best defense in the NFL and the worst offense. So if you're a Browns fan, what would you want to see? Is it Joe Flacco out there every week taking the snaps and hoping you win some games? Is it Dylan Gabriel? Let's get him in there. Let's see what he can do as a rookie. And if we continue to lose games and we're 3-14 or whatever it is at the end of the year, and maybe we get the number 1 pick and one of these college guys steps up and becomes the number 1 pick in this draft, now we can take him because we don't trust Dylan Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders, we don't. Maybe he plays later in the year and shows it, whatever. But what would you feel if you're a Browns fan after seeing what your defense is doing, but also your offense is doing absolutely nothing with Joe Flacco?
The front office is a disgrace doing what they've done to that fan base. Yeah. And to your, if you want to talk about a team that will be divided when the season's over, if you're a defensive player in Cleveland, you're looking over there saying, you guys are, I've seen it on sidelines when the defense is doing their job and the offense isn't. After 3 or 4 weeks, it's like, we can't, Myles Garrett doesn't play quarterback or running back, dude.
Right.
And I think they have done them their talent evaluation, obviously at the position, for some reason, or bad luck. They already let their best quarterback since Bernie Kosar go. He's playing in Tampa.
Yes.
They couldn't even figure that out. Okay. Segs, and through some bad luck as well. But I can tell you this, and I love Flacco. Dude, how can you not? It's so hard for me to say bench Flacco because the truth is right now, here's what they're telling you. I'd like to hope that Stefanski's telling you that nobody on that roster is good enough to play other than Flacco. Right. That's what they're telling you. Yes. Because if you're a defensive player, you're saying, just give us 21 points. Just give us 21, 24 points and give us a fight chance. Because if the defense doesn't score, your offense is you'll come away. Thank goodness they had defense yesterday, or they got no shot. So I'm at the point now that I understand why you're playing Flacco, but I also say, I'm one of those guys, if I was a GM, I don't really give a fuzzy rat's ass or give a shit. We draft a guy and he proves to me early he can't play. I'll put the egg on my face. I got to replace him. The longer you let a guy hang around, I'm not talking about Flacco. I'm talking about anybody. The more that's an indictment on me. Step up, say I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and go get another player. So what an indictment on a franchise that Joe Flacco, who 2 years ago, before all this, 3 years ago, coming back, he was sitting on his couch, and he's been phenomenal, just being a guy that you can count on, but he's not spectacular. That says something to the rest of the team, saying, really, we're in this position that nobody else can make plays. That's at least the way Cleveland feels. Flacco got off his couch and is better than the guys they're picking or drafting or signing. Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick. I know he's not there anymore, but he was during training camp until they traded. Kenny Pickett was first-round pick at Pittsburgh. He's already a journeyman. He couldn't beat out Flacco, dude, and he's 15 years younger. So my point is, they've done a great service to the defensive. Absolutely. To answer your question, for me, I'm going to Flacco and saying, dude, you know what? I got nothing but respect for you, man. But for the growth, and I'm sure Joe's a great competitor. He wouldn't be playing anymore, right? He'd say, I'm not coming out of this. I don't want this anymore. You got to go to him at some point. And right now, Dylan Gabriel is the obvious choice to go in and see because he was drafted higher, that pecking order, whatever.
He was better in the preseason.
I got to see if he can play than any. Yeah, he was better than Shedeur. He played more. I get it. And if Dylan Gabriel can't do it, then I'm going to play Shedeur Sanders and see if he can. Exactly. And maybe we should have drafted him higher. And if he can't play, I'm drafting a quarterback in the first round next year if there's one worthy of it. Now, If there's not, then I'm going to go try to find one of these guys that's backing up that can trade for. I'm going to go try to find a free agent to offer him what I can offer him to get him out. Or the next choice is that you're going to say, well, we still believe Deshaun Watson can play when he's healthy. I guarantee you that's hovering around in their mind. I promise you it is. So, because you ain't trading $230 million of a guy who hadn't played much and can't stay healthy. So, Segs, it's a great disservice because you're looking at a Super Bowl caliber defense against a high school caliber offense. And the fans deserve better in Cleveland. So, the sooner you can admit, we'll look at kudos to the Colts. They drafted a guy 3 years ago with the 4th pick of the draft, and I'm not sure he can complete 60% versus air. Great athlete, back to our original conversation. Great big time stud. Maybe 8 years from now he'll rediscover himself like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, whatever it is. But he ain't it right now. So what do? They go get a journeyman. He comes in, and he is to have the balls to make that decision and stick with it, and now get the result. It was the right decision. So I'm one admitted earlier and get to moving forward because what's going to happen eventually is the defense is going to get old or the defense is going to lose their way. And then the offense hopefully starts to catch up. Right now, you're not capitalizing on it. If you're me, I'll give this off. I'll give him one more. I'll give everybody 4 games, at least a month. So that's fair.
I like that.
And then I call Joe in and I say, Joe, listen, we know he got you. I got to find out what I got. I just got to see it. And Joe's, and I think Joe's got to say, because really, nobody. Cleveland's not in any danger of making the playoffs. Cleveland's not in any danger of being a threat in the Super Bowl. So if you're an organization and you go to Joe, this is not an indictment on you. You've saved us and allowed us these weeks to try and get another guy ready. You got to play Dylan Gabriel first to see. And if he doesn't work, you got to play Shedeur Sanders because you can't. You're not living at 13-10 every week. Right. Sakes. They can't. So you're going to run into a problem. So I just, for me, I'm past the point of having to kiss somebody's ass. I'm at the point of I got to play my best 11, and if 10 of them are good and one's not, I got to get the 11th guy. I got to find somebody. And I can tell you this right now: Penix is not better. Good point, DJ. Penix was not better when he took over for Kirk Cousins. The pressure to make the move. That doesn't mean Penix isn't going to be a stud. I love Michael Penix's courage. He can rip it. But the truth of the matter is, Kirk Cousins fall out of bed and throw for 4,400 yards. Is it? They went through a stint where they got impatient. They drafted a first-round pick, and what they do? You heard Collinsworth talking about it all day yesterday. Listen, I understand Russ Wilson at some point they got to do, but at some point you drafted Jackson Dart for a reason. Right. And the reason is to play him. And guess what? You also drafted him. When you draft a guy that high, what are you telling? Coach, you're on the hot seat. I'm probably drafting this guy for the next coach. But if you want a chance to survive, you might want to make the decision earlier. Russ Wilson's not your future. And he sure as hell isn't your present. So why not? Let's see what the guy's got and get a fan base at least excited to see what they got in Cleveland. It's all over the league. It's happening, or it should I say? So to me, the sooner you can find out who your best 11 are, the better. I'm worried about. If you were worried about Jackson Dart being fragile, why'd you draft him?
Right.
Why would you draft him in the first round? I can't worry about that. He's got to either do it or not.
And that goes back to teams constantly do this, and I hate it. I hate when teams have a coach that's clearly on the hot seat like Brian Dable was, and they still let him take a first-round quarterback at pick.
Like Atlanta did when they had Cousins for $100 million, and then you go get Penix, who I like. But did you really need to take him when you knew he wasn't going to play? At least you didn't expect him to play as a rookie.
The Bears did it with Mitchell Trubisky and John Fox, and then they fired him, brought in Nagy from Kansas City. Right. Then they did it with Justin Fields and Matt Nagy. They drafted Fields up 1 year, boom, he's gone. And then they did it with Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus. Like, it's so
bad trend, Segs.
Yeah. Yes, and we talk about coaching these guys, but it's also hard for these guys to learn an offense year one as a rookie in the NFL, the highest level of football, and then boom, year two, now you got to learn a whole new offense.
Yeah. Right.
It's stupid to let your organization do that. That's why if you have a coach on the hot seat, I don't care who it is. If it were Mike McDaniel next year, we go in, he makes it through the year, and they're coming in, he's on the hot seat, and
they draft the first quarterback.
You just fire him.
Yes.
And then if that guy wants to take a quarterback, boom, take the quarterback. If your GM's on the hot seat, you fire your GM and you bring in a GM, and then he can decide what he wants to do. Quit forcing So the next coach of the Giants now just has to be okay with Jackson Dart, even if he didn't like him in the draft. But now you want a job because there's only 32 jobs. If you're a guy that wants to take a shot at coaching, but you don't really like Jackson Dart, it's like, do you want to do that? I don't know. It's wild to see.
Didn't Caleb Williams, as Dr. J pointed out, Caleb Williams torched Matt Eberflus's defense yesterday for the guy who was his coach, right?
Yeah,
real quick.
It's crazy.
Real quick about that. It's so good. I felt this on draft day with Penix. I think Penix is going to be a good player. I do. But you know what? Next year, there's another Michael Penix. There just is. Yes. He wasn't as a rookie. Now, he came in because Cousins got benched, and Cousins admitted he wasn't playing. Well, I get all that. But he wasn't. You're just not prepared for all that unless some guys are different. They're unique. You put them in, you know your draft. It's like when they wanted McCarthy from the start. He was just hurt. Hell, they would have tried to start him last year, Segs, before Darnold got on a roll as a rookie. They would have probably given him some early run when they draft, but he was hurt and couldn't play. So then they got him this year. And then Darnold opened the door for Darnold to go be a good player. But let's just use Cousins as an example. I think Penix can play. But is there going to be another Michael Penix in the league? Sure. Yeah. But if you know your coach on the hot seat, you're not going to fire him, which when Arthur Smith was there, if you're even if your coach isn't on the hot seat, which it's the same coach from last year, but you're a team that's struggling off as an overall, you need some help on defense. And then you're going to pay a guy $100 million and a veteran, and then you're going to go draft a quarterback in the first round who you don't expect to play because you have Cousins. He was just like, okay, down the road, he's our future, 2-3 years down the road. Wouldn't they have been better served to go get the most dominant edge rusher or linebacker or corner and then say, you know what? What if Penix was around in the second round? Somebody else, we drafted him, ninth or whatever it was. What if he was around? I don't know. But, okay, well, then I'll get a guy in the second or I'll draft. There'll be another quarterback, the young guy to develop. But now if you didn't have Cousins, go draft Penix, plug him in from day one and say, dude, we're riding with you. It's the same thing happening. Russ Wilson was nobody's future. He was a stopgap. Russ is a journeyman now. He had a hell of a career, but you drafted Jackson Dart. If you're Brian Dable, would you have demanded, give me a player that gives me a chance to get a contract and win? And if Jackson Dart may be a Hall of Famer, but there'll be another Jackson Dart with the 20th pick, with what they pick him 8th or 9th or 10th, whatever. I can't even remember. Top 10 pick, top 12 pick Segs this year. My point is, why wouldn't Dable? It's awfully arrogant. I mean, I'm not saying Brian, but it's awfully weird if you're general manager saying, let's draft a guy who we don't expect to play, and we're a bad team. And then their former quarterback is now playing great at Indianapolis. So all of it comes together. It's like, we got to clear house if these guys don't get it. It goes back to the old need, or am I drafting for 3 years from now? And I always tell people this. I said, well, you drafted a guy for 3 years from now, you're not going to be around to coach him because, you're going to lose and you can't block for anybody. And then you're going to put the rookie in there last year in Penix, and he's going to grow on the job. But in the meantime, he could have grown just as much with Cousins putting his arm around him and saying, knowing his time's coming, he's a good guy, a good teammate. And it shows that Penix will have his struggles, but he'll be a good player. The problem is right now, Atlanta Falcons need more than just be a good player. They have no business going in and getting boat raced by 30 by Carolina. Come on. And it's not just Penix. You get the point. It's just kind of all tying into what we're saying. It goes back to subpar quarterback play and the teaching of getting them ready. And then the weird thing of, well, I drafted a guy who's not going to – I don't expect to have to help me for 3 years, yet my coach is going to get fired because I drafted a guy who can't help me for 3 years. You get my point? Yeah. It's baffling to me. And back to your Cleveland thing, I almost feel like you got to go to Joe and Stefanski. Man, you and I are tight. They actually look alike. Stefanski and Flacco look like they could be related.
It's weird.
And go to him and say, weird. Joe, listen, just we want you. You're staying on this roster. I got to see if Dylan Gabriel can play. So,
crazy thing about the Browns is Mason Graham and Schlesinger, their top 2 picks, they're just starting to play well. That defense is going to get a lot better.
Dude, yes, you better find a guy under center who can match it and go play.
Oh my God.
There's no doubt about it.
Mason Graham won 43% of his pass rushes yesterday. The average is like 9%.
We're waking up. I guarantee we're going to go in the offseason. They're going to say, look for this guy to be a future defensive player of the year. I know they got Myles Garrett, but damn, dude's a monster, dude. Yeah.
One last thing before we get out of here, and then I'll let you enjoy Hawaii and go golfing and shoot 130 and do what you do.
You're an ass. I ain't 100 in 100 years, okay?
We got to talk about the Texans. Sean, it's
do me a favor. Do me one favor. Can we start tomorrow? Because my computer, I can't do it in 3 minutes. My computer, I'm out here saying they don't have a long reach to plug it in. So I'm going to be in the middle of telling you how ass their offense is. and it's going to cut out, and I'm going to have to. But I want to start with that tomorrow because
All right.
I'm going to torch them, Segs. They
Yes.
are putrid, and they are a brutal watch. And it goes back to why in the world did you go and hire another rookie coordinator when you were bad last year with a guy who was a rookie the year before? There's a lot to talk. So I want to start with that because Segs, this is plus it's my hometown, and when I come back on my morning, I'm going to be overwhelmed with we got to talk. And then the Astros got swept by the Mariners, so it ain't a good. I'm glad I'm in Hawaii, dude, because I don't want to be in Houston right now.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll talk Texans. I want to talk college. Clemson disaster.
Dude,
we saw
so
some good
bad.
games.
They're
Yeah,
so
bad. Is Dabo in trouble? We'll talk about. I want to talk about the quarterbacks too. We went through it with JB. These quarterbacks are not living up to the potential or the hype.
First 4 or 5 that we talked about, Segs, they're playing like just guys right now.
Right.
So
maybe who is the guy that you think could step into that? We'll talk about that tomorrow, and we'll break down other college games, and then the Ryder Cup, and then we had breaking news during the show. Bruce Pearl is retiring from Auburn. His son will take over there at Auburn this season.
It. Bruce is probably going to end up on Fox News doing political stuff, man.
Well,
I'm dead serious.
He'll be all over the place doing basketball and political
I love him.
stuff. So
good on Bruce, man. And Segs, he looks
Go
happy, and then he looked healthy, and Bruce looks like it almost looks like Bruce knew he was going to tell us he was going to retire. His kid's got his gig. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go join Sean in Hawaii and go fat cat and shoot 78.
Yeah, he probably stayed on and stayed through the summer to help his son get acquainted and get everything moving in the right direction. And now he steps down and it's his son's turn. But
dude, we got so much to discuss, man. I can't wait. Yeah. And I am going to go play. I am going to go fat cat. Oh. Well, Ryder Cup or the Dolphins Jets? Who you want to talk about, Segs? Ryder Cup.
I mean, you don't want to talk about Tua and
no,
Justin Fields?
No. And what kind of joggers I'm going to get to wear on the sidelines? Yeah, exactly. Great stuff, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Great stuff. Thanks to JB. Thanks to Triple E, Laura, everybody. We will be back tomorrow at noon Central. Sean's like 6 or 7 a.m. there in Hawaii, and we'll break more games down for you. We'll talk about the quarterbacks in the college level, and we'll start discussing the Ryder Cup as we get closer and closer to that. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys. See you.